From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Morning Edition.
Good morning and thanks for starting your day with us. Today is Saturday, February 14th, Valentine's Day. I'm Kelsey Thorid. Here's a look at what we've got at the top of our rundown. 7 people are hurt, including one with major injuries after an SUV crashed into a busy market in East Santa Rosa. Shattered glass littered the floor near the entrance to Oliver's Market. Authorities say the driver appeared to be trying to park, then jumped the curb and hit the storefront. A police sergeant tells the Press Democrat the driver was wearing a walking boot on her right foot, which may have been a contributing factor in the accident. A South Bay judge has declared a mistrial in the case of 5 current and former Stanford students involved in pro-Palestinian protests in 2024. 8 of the 12 jurors voted in favor of guilty on conspiracy charges and 9 for felony vandalism charges. That, of course, fell short of the unanimous verdict needed for conviction. The Santa Clara County DA says he plans on seeking a new trial. A new express lane is now open on Interstate 680 in the East Bay. It runs from State Route 84 to Alcosta Boulevard. Construction on this lane started in 2023 in a project that cost $325 million. The Alameda County Transportation Commission says this is one of the busiest stretches of highway in the Bay Area. Okay, let's bring in meteorologist Zoe Mitz to talk weather. Zoe, I feel like it's been nice. Like everybody said it was supposed to rain a lot, but then there's been peaks of sun. It's been really nice.
Well, luckily this weekend, today should be good. So if you have any outdoor plans for your Valentine's Day, afternoon, cloudy, but good. Tonight, nice. A few sprinkles arriving. And then tomorrow, I would say any plans outdoors, you should probably make them indoors.
Really?
Yeah, because the rain is going to be pretty constant, or at least on and off, starting tomorrow, continuing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. So 3 full days of widespread activity. Cloudy, but dry today. So again, anything outdoors today, you should be good. Tonight, though, is when you might want to keep that umbrella handy. The rain, though, like I said, it's going to be pretty constant through the midweek, and then the winds will pick up, especially Monday and Tuesday. It might even be a little bit breezier tomorrow as well, as there's a powerful storm system that's sitting off to our north. You can literally see the stream of atmospheric river moisture in the form of cloud coverage. That is definitely the telltale sign, that thin stream of moisture that extends from the central Pacific all the way to the west coast of the United States. That is going to allow for widespread rainfall to head our way as it continues to travel down farther south. So those of you who are stepping out for the next couple of days, hey, it's going to be wetter than normal. And this is our precipitation outlook for the next 6 to 10 days. It looks like this wetter than normal pattern is going to be sticking around for quite a while. So that is great news. Let's just take a little sneak peek at that, because again, over the next several days, if you want to follow along, timestamp bottom right corner of the screen, there's going to be multiple storm systems that are going to be bringing widespread moisture. Again, there are going to be breaks in the rain, but there's going to be quite a lot of it, 2 to 4 inches by the time things are all said and done. I'll let you know exactly what time to expect the rain showers coming up in my full forecast. Back to you, Kelsey.
Thanks, Zoe. Okay, well, the San Francisco public school teachers will be back on the job with their students Wednesday. That's after a strike shut down schools for 5 days this past week. Now the union and the district have reached a tentative deal on a new contract. The agreement gives certified teachers a 5% raise over 2 years. Classified staff, including paraeducators, will get a 8.5% over those 2 years. The superintendent says the district had to stretch into its $111 million emergency reserve fund to make that deal happen. Meanwhile, the teachers union vice president called the $183 million deal a win, especially since the district will now fully cover family health benefits.
Being here 2 nights in a row was not fun, but we did this thing and we won this thing because we want stability for our schools.
We advocate for the funding that our schools, our students need and deserve.
Teachers return to their classrooms on Friday to get ready for next week. As we mentioned, students will be back on Wednesday after district holidays on Monday and Tuesday. Well, when the power went out across a third of San Francisco during the busy holiday season, 130,000 PG&E customers were left in the dark. Now, Mayor Daniel Lurie and PG&E are facing questions about who was given priority treatment. In a hearing Thursday, a city supervisor pointed to the lights staying on during a performance of the Nutcracker December 21st at the War Memorial Opera House, while thousands of residents were still in the dark. The San Francisco Standard first reported that the mayor's daughter had a lead role in that show. In a statement, PG&E tells us PG&E was constantly in touch with city leadership throughout the process of restoring power. As a significant venue hosting several major events over the weekend, the Opera House was naturally one of the facilities discussed. However, the mayor did not ask or direct PG&E to restore power to the Opera House.
We did not make that decision on our own accord. We were requested by the mayor.
Nothing happened. I never directed any executive at PG&E about any specific venue, and the CEO of PG&E said the very same thing.
It took 3 more days to restore power to all customers. Some are still seeking compensation from PG&E to cover their losses. Nearly 3 years after the breach of the Pajaro levy in heavy rains, federal money is finally on the way to help with repairs. California Senator Adam Schiff says $54 million will go toward the Pajaro River Flood Risk Management Project in Monterey and Santa Cruz counties. The flooding caused significant damage to homes and businesses in the town of Pajaro in Monterey County. Until now, local leaders and business owners have been left to try and pick up the pieces as they best can on their own. Now they're also keeping a close eye on the creek as several storm systems are on the way.
Very slow. Used to be better business, more people coming. But after the big flooding, then not too many people anymore. It hurts a lot.
We're okay for now, but it isn't an ideal situation because it doesn't have that 100-year floodplain protection.
The work on the levee is not expected to be completed for at least another year. A former top official of the East Bay Regional Parks District has filed a misconduct claim. According to the Chronicle, Sabrina Landreth says several of her coworkers retaliated against her after she pursued harassment complaints and reported signs of nepotism. Landreth resigned as general manager in November. In a statement, the Parks District says it takes all claims of harassment and discrimination seriously, but is declining further comment because of that pending litigation. A group called Friends of the Plaza is suing San Francisco over the removal of the Viancore fountain. The structure has stood in Embarcadero Plaza for more than 50 years. A city report last year said the fountain has asbestos and lead and is not ADA compliant. Back in November, the City Arts Commission voted to remove the fountain. The new lawsuit claims the city is violating California's Environmental Quality Act. Well, hundreds of couples say "I do" at San Francisco City Hall. That happened on Friday. Mayor Daniel Lurie and the city administrator led some of those ceremonies in what has become an annual Valentine's Day tradition. The county clerk says on average, for an entire year, 4,500 marriages happen at City Hall. Dang, that's a lot. People that want to tie the knot today can do so in Contra Costa and San Mateo counties. The San Mateo clerk's office is extending its hours today from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m., and a public marriage license costs $79. Meanwhile, in Contra Costa County, the clerk's office is open from 9 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Marriage license there are a little more expensive at $100, but still pretty good price for a marriage. Okay, the time now is 6:09. Let's take a look at what's happening around the Bay on this Valentine's Day. Hundreds of people in San Francisco will take to the streets for Cupid's Undie Run. The event raises awareness for neurofibromatosis, a genetic disorder that causes tumors to grow on nerves throughout the body. The Undie Run starts at 2 this afternoon at the Woodbury Bar and Gastropub on 3rd Street. Well, if you need a last-minute Valentine's Day plan, the Blue and Gold Ferry is providing free rides to Treasure Island. Sweethearts and friends can hop aboard for a complimentary round trip. The ferry will also be decorated for the occasion. And in the East Bay, the Concord Immigrant Protection Network is hosting a Love Your Neighbor rally and march in solidarity with the immigrant community. It starts at 10:30 at the former Big Lots parking lot on Monument Boulevard and follows a route to Meadow Homes Park. Coming up, it's the city with the largest Vietnamese American population in the entire country. We'll take a look at how San Jose is holding its annual Tet Festival.
Let's go. I'm Johnny Mosley. The gear is dialed and the Toyota is loaded up. Let's take a virtual look at the latest conditions at our favorite spots. The Toyota Tahoe report is locked in and ready to roll.
Well, another quiet weekend all across the Sierra, Lake Tahoe. It's gonna be nothing to talk about. 0 inches all across the southern parts of Lake Tahoe, from Sierra Tahoe to Kirkwood and Heavenly. Really, again, not too much to talk about. Base totals are relatively low right now, but there is fantastic news. Sunday night and into Monday, that's when we'll be seeing more widespread snow. So yeah, nothing to talk about this weekend, but honestly, that's really great news when it comes to actually driving conditions. If you're heading up to Mountain Rose, Diamond Peak, North Star, Palisades, Sugar Bowl, or Boreal, getting there, you should be good to go. But if you're heading home late Sunday night and into Monday, that's when the widespread snow will arrive. So please keep that in mind. You're heading out next week. And that was your Toyota Tahoe report.
Welcome back. The time now is 6:14. Lunar New Year festivities have already kicked off in San Jose, where families are celebrating the Vietnamese New Year and the incoming Year of the Horse. As Da Lin shows us, it's just one of many events happening across the Bay Area throughout this weekend.
The golden horses are the big draw for people looking for that perfect picture. The Year of the Horse in the Chinese zodiac symbolizes speed, freedom, and success.
We just want to get a little bit of New Year spirit in, so this is a perfect spot.
The Tran family spent their Friday afternoon at the Vietnamese New Year Tet Festival, just outside San Jose's East Ridge Center, listening to live music, going on carnival rides, and eating traditional Vietnamese food.
This is a traditional Vietnamese ao dai, and our son, he got one, we got one on. Even though he's born here, it's trying to give him the little Vietnamese tradition.
A lot of parents feel the same way, trying to make sure their children learn about their cultural roots and celebrate their heritage.
The Horse of the Year means lots of prosperity, a lot of good things happening.
The Vietnamese Catholic community of the Diocese of San Jose organized the Tet Festival. Organizers say 70,000 people attended last year. They hope to surpass that number this year, despite rain in the forecast. U.S. Census data shows San Jose has the largest Vietnamese population of any city outside of Vietnam, roughly 150,000 Vietnamese Americans.
This is the biggest event for the whole Vietnamese out of the country of Vietnam.
Not too far away, over at the Grand Century Mall in Little Saigon, we found a lot of families shopping for groceries and decorations for the new year.
We're going to decorate our house with
We're
lanterns.
Decorating. We've spent a lot of time cleaning, making sure everything is nice.
Many families are planning large reunion dinners.
I also like the red envelopes, and I also like meeting other Vietnamese families, practicing like my Vietnamese.
For the Tran family, it's about retaining traditions while looking forward to a new year filled with possibilities.
We just want to wish everybody a happy new year. May your 2026 bring you a lot of prosperity, peace, joy, love, and happiness.
Can't beat free admission and free parking. 2 more days of the Tet Festival. Saturday is supposed to be the biggest with a lot more shows.
The Tet Festival continues in San Jose today and tomorrow. Today is expected to be the biggest with even more activities and shows, as admission to the festival is free. Okay, let's turn now to weather with meteorologist Zoe Mitz. Zoe, we both dressed up for Valentine's Day. I'm not a big pink girl, but on Valentine's Day, you have to.
If there's any day that you have to wear pink, purple, red, just like a little bit to brighten everyone else's day.
And it's supposed to be nice.
Exactly. I mean, a little cloudy out there, but hey, it's going to be probably the nicest day of the next 7. So let's appreciate it while we can. Yes, it's a little cloudy right now, but let's appreciate also the mild conditions. I know you like the warmer weather, right?
I do.
It's going to get a lot cooler. And there might even be some snow on the mountain peaks in the North Bay communities. Yeah, that's how cold it's going to get, as these storm systems that are heading our way are coming up from the Arctic. So these are Alaskan, Canadian systems that are bringing all of that cold winter air down with it. So right now, again, we're on the warm edge of the system. On the northern edge, though, that's where the cold air is. And again, that will be heading our way. So let's appreciate some really quiet weather today. albeit a bit cloudier than what we have been seeing for the past several days. Let's take it closer to home and show you exactly what we're seeing right now, because again, yeah, widespread cloud coverage out there, definitely cloudier than it was just a couple of hours ago, but it's comfortable, I would say, especially compared to how our mornings are going to start over the next couple of days. So yeah, mid to upper 40s across a lot of the Bay Area. That's not too bad. That's pretty seasonable for this time of year. Maybe some upper 30s sprinkled in there across our inland East Bay, but honestly, again, not too shabby for this time of year. By the afternoon hours, we'll be seeing those high temperatures warming up to the upper 50s to low 60s. Again, a degree or two above normal for this time of year, or seasonable before that storm system heads our way and cools us down to below average. So today, nothing to talk about when it comes to rain. Let me replay that so you can follow along. Bottom right corner of the screen, look at the timestamp. It's not until I would say 6, 7 o'clock that just our coastal communities, maybe over the Santa Cruz Mountains, maybe a few isolated sprinkles across our North Bay, are possible. It is definitely not going to be a washout tonight by any means, but I would suggest grabbing an umbrella if maybe you have any evening Valentine's Day plans. 8, 9, 10, a sprinkle is possible. But again, it is not going to be a washout. By tomorrow, though, that's when things are going to be changing. Look what happens from midnight to 8 a.m. We'll be seeing those scattered showers making their way across the Bay Area, especially across our North Bay. And again, it is literally following the stream of atmospheric river moisture that you can trace back to the Central Pacific. Then by tomorrow afternoon, the heavier rain from our North Bay will push farther south. Then our South Bay communities will begin to see some heavier rain by Saturday or Sunday afternoon. And then the North Bay will begin to see some drier, quieter time. So on again, off again, pockets of heavy shower are likely starting tomorrow. And it's going to continue. These areas in darker red and orange, those signify the heavier downpours. Again, that will stick around Sunday evening. And then look at Sunday night. That's when the snow will potentially begin to make its way across our North Bay mountains. Those colors that are in purple and white, yeah, that's snow on the peaks of the mountains. That means temperatures will be below freezing on the highest elevations. So keep that in mind. Again, it is going to be a lot colder by the time that we step out into next week. In fact, let's just look at those temperatures by Sunday and Monday. Sunday afternoon, those highs are going to be sitting in the upper 50s to low 60s, a degree or two cooler than today, but really nothing too crazy. Look at what happens by Monday, though. Those high temperatures return to the mid to lower 50s across the Bay Area, and they're going to stay this way, mid to lower 50s through next week. So again, let's appreciate the 60s while we can, because they're really not going to last much longer than the next couple of days. Again, if we take a look at our next 7 days, the best chance for rain will stick around through the midweek. By the end of the week, that's when it gets a little bit questionable with our long-range models, whether or not the rain will be sticking around, but that's something we'll keep you updated on as our days progress.
From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Morning Edition.
Welcome back. The time now is 6:31. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kelsey Thorud. We're going to kick off this half hour with weather, joined by meteorologist Zoe Mitz. Zoe, we've been talking about the rain coming.
Yeah, but honestly, it's so good that Valentine's Day is today. First of all, on a Saturday. When does that happen? Every 7 years. So it's true. It's kind of nice that it's on a weekend, and the fact that we're starting off the weekend on a dry note. So, hey, both positive things.
I'm into it.
Before the rain comes later tonight. It's not going to be widespread tonight, though. So if you have any dinner plans, grab the umbrella just in case, but it really shouldn't be too bad. Beautiful sunrise this morning. A little bit of fog filtering in the Santa Clara Valley, but I want to take it to the floor and show you the rain that is currently falling. Northern California, the tippy top of the state, is dealing with rain right now, and this rain will be heading our way. And look, there's also some mountain snow. That mountain snow is also going to be heading our way, which is great news. This is cold weather storms, and the snowpack in the Sierra has not been great, but I promise you, there is quite a lot of snow that will be on the way into next week. So let's take a look at what we can expect over the next couple of hours. Through midnight tonight, most of this rain will continue to travel farther and farther south. The bulk of the atmospheric river's moisture, though, is going to stay in Northern California for most of the day today. By the overnight hours and into early tomorrow morning, look at the timestamp, bottom right corner of the screen. That's when the widespread rain will arrive, and it's going to continue to be a pretty rainy Sunday afternoon ahead. So let's take it back up to the wall, show you exactly how much rain we can get over the next several days, because it is going to be a good amount, along with some windy conditions. Winds tomorrow anywhere from 20 to 30 miles an hour. Monday and Tuesday anywhere from 25 to 35, maybe 40 miles an hour. But again, the rain is going to be arriving next week in full force. So Sunday's rain, half of an inch to an inch, but by Monday and Tuesday, anywhere from 2 to 4+ inches of rain is likely. I'll break down the exact details on what you can expect this upcoming week of weather coming up in my full forecast. Back to you, Kelsey.
Thanks, Zoe. Well, investigators looking for Nancy Guthrie in Arizona towed an SUV overnight from a restaurant parking lot in Tucson. This comes nearly 2 weeks after the mother of Today Show anchor Savannah Guthrie was taken from her home. Christian Benavides has the latest on the search.
Officers used a yellow tarp to cover the back of a Range Rover SUV that was being searched by FBI agents in Tucson, Arizona. The vehicle was parked near where investigators responded to a home in connection to the Nancy Guthrie disappearance. Multiple law enforcement agencies responded, including forensics and a SWAT team. A sheriff's deputy shut down the road. Both scenes are just minutes from the Guthrie residence. Initially, the sheriff said more details were coming in a written statement, but later on, in a post on social media, the sheriff wrote, "Because this is a joint investigation at the request of the FBI, no additional information is currently available." Earlier in the day, Pima County Sheriff Chris Danos spoke to CBS's Jonathan Vigliotti.
There has been no sign of life.
Does she have that kind
But
of...
I'm going to tell you, too, there's been no sign of death.
The FBI describes the male suspect as 5'9" to 5'10" tall, with an average build, and wearing a black Ozark Trail hiker backpack, like the one shown in these photos. The backpack is sold exclusively at Walmart. Sources with knowledge say law enforcement officials reviewed video at this Walmart location in Tucson.
I think that suspect should be afraid every night. We're going to find you.
The sheriff denied reports his department was withholding evidence from the FBI by using a contracted lab in Florida instead of the FBI lab.
Why not lean on Quantico and their lab?
It adds a step that's not needed. I have a lab that has taken on this evidence, and they have that.
You're saying consistency.
Consistency.
Does that consistency slow this down in any way?
No, it actually helps it.
Meanwhile, Tucson residents are placing yellow ribbons and flowers around the Catalina foothills, hoping for Guthrie's safe return.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio is in Munich today for an annual security conference. He is speaking to European allies about the Trump administration's plan to reshape the transatlantic alliance. But allies are taking note of Rubio's less aggressive tone in today's comments, some even calling his message reassuring. This comes after more than a year of President Trump's often hostile remarks towards traditional allies. Today, Rubio highlighted America's centuries-long roots in Europe and said the U.S. would remain forever tied to the continent, while still pushing for change in the relationship.
We care deeply about your future and ours. And if at times we disagree, our disagreements come from our profound sense of concern about a Europe with which we are connected, not just economically, not just militarily. We are connected spiritually, and we are connected culturally. We want Europe to be strong.
Rubio went on to say that America will always be, quote, a child to Europe. He added that the U.S. wants to chart a new path towards prosperity. In a developing story this morning, several European nations say Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny was poisoned with a lethal toxin. They say it came from the skin of dart frogs, a species found in South America. Navalny died in an Arctic penal colony in Russia 2 years ago. Now, the foreign ministries of the UK, France, Germany, Sweden, and the Netherlands say they have conclusively confirmed the presence of the toxin. That is based on an analysis of samples from Navalny's remains. A joint statement also says, quote, Russia had the means, motive, and opportunity to administer the poison. They say this amounts to a breach of the Chemical Weapons Convention. Coming up, there's a trail that weaves through 9 Bay Area counties, but it starts and stops. We'll talk with people behind a new effort to close some of those gaps in the trail, hoping to entice more people to take a hike. Plus, we visit a small North Bay community struggling to deal with its newfound popularity, a new preserve sparking a passionate debate among neighbors. The Bay Area Ridge Trail stretches along the Golden Gate Bridge over to the Marin Headlands. It's part of a giant loop weaving throughout the Bay Area's 9 counties. And now there's an effort underway to get a lot more people on the trail by giving it special federal recognition. Here's a look at the full loop. Bay Area members of Congress are pushing to have it made into a national scenic trail stretching from Calistoga to Gilroy. And as Kara St. Cyr reports, it could help fill in the gaps to connect hundreds of miles surrounding the Bay Area.
Oh, the views are just amazing.
One of the most beautiful vistas in California, the Bay Area Ridge Trail stretches on for more than 400 miles. Elise Simonian has walked at least 200 of them.
And the trail takes me to places that I normally wouldn't visit, different places in the Bay Area.
But the trail, which connects 9 Bay Area counties, is unfinished. The link between Petaluma and Napa has large gaps. So does the trail between San Mateo and San Jose. But this could change. Congressman Jared Huffman filed legislation to designate the Bay Area Ridge as a national scenic trail. There are only 11 in the country so far. In a statement, Huffman said designating it as a national scenic trail would not only help complete it, it would set it on par with iconic trails like the Appalachian and Pacific Crest and elevate the incredible and diverse Bay Area landscapes. Mary Sales, the development director for the trail, says federal funding could help bridge the gaps.
It also gives us national recognition, and I think just builds our awareness both for the region and the country, and that itself will bring in attention, new members, funding opportunities outside of government funding.
But for Elise, the new designation would catapult the trail to new heights for a national audience.
You could go through the city, urban areas, as well as natural open space areas, and all of them are within driving distance.
And she hopes they enjoy the walk and the views as much as she does.
If the legislation is approved by Congress, it would require the National Park Service to perform a feasibility study on assigning the designation within 1 year. A breathtaking stretch of the Sonoma County coastline that was closed to the public for generations is now open and drawing thousands of visitors. Kenny Choi explains how a small coastal community in Bodega Bay is divided about this new attraction in their neighborhood.
Rolling coastal grasslands, sweeping ocean views, 5 miles of trails overlooking the rugged Sonoma coast. The newly opened Estero Americano Coast Preserve has quickly become one of the most talked about hikes in Northern California.
It gives me a feeling of peace and simplicity.
Mary Wood lives in Bodega Harbor, the quiet seaside community next to the preserve.
I like to see people enjoying the outdoors.
The 500-plus acre preserve, once private land, is now open to the public, managed by the Wildlands Conservancy. But some residents say its sudden popularity has transformed their narrow neighborhood streets. On some weekends, they estimate hundreds of cars line both sides of the road, far exceeding early traffic projections.
There's a real concern that the number of people utilizing this facility is in fact, maybe its downfall. It may destroy it.
Bodega Harbor resident John Laughlin says this isn't about keeping people out. It's about balance.
This is an issue of what's the appropriate level of use, both for the community as well as to preserve the environmental integrity of this preserve that the Wildlands has established.
Neighbors point to cars parked bumper to bumper, visitors parking along winding roads, and concerns about hikers going off trail in sensitive habitat. County leaders have proposed no parking zones and are studying longer-term solutions. Laughlin is calling for capacity controls like a reservation system, but not everyone sees conflict or the need for it.
I trust the Wildlands to develop it in an ecological way and to take good care of it.
For Wood, the bigger picture matters.
We all live here on this earth together, and we have to protect it and each other as best we can.
The preserve is open and free to the public 7 days a week. A public town hall to discuss the issue is scheduled for February 25th. Coming up, the long-awaited return of a popular comedy competition that has helped launch the career of Black comedians.
And good morning. Happy Saturday, everybody. We have made it to the beginning of a rainy stretch of days, so appreciate the dry weather while you can. I'll let you know when you'll have to grab that umbrella and how much rain to expect coming up in just a bit.
Our Black History Month celebrations continue with the return of a popular East Bay comedy event that was on hiatus since the pandemic. Our Lorene Ayub spoke with some of the comedians taking the stage this weekend in Oakland about what this competition could mean for their careers.
The Bay Area Black Comedy Competition is back. We are here at the Henry J. Kaiser Center for the Arts in the Calvin Simmons Theater, where this Sunday, the victor will be crowned. It's a competition that has launched the careers of some of the biggest names in comedy, from Jamie Foxx to Cat Williams. And while the festival is based in Oakland, it attracts talent from all over the world. Angela Walker flew in from Texas for her shot at the spotlight.
I basically have been doing comedy over 20 years, and to have the opportunity, this is my first time in the Bay Area.
The event finally returning after it was paused mid-competition in 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. On the first day of this year's event, finalists from 2020 were able to finish what they started. After a 6-year delay, comedian Mario Hodge emerged as the winner.
I started comedy late in my 40s, so this was my first time ever doing a comedy competition.
The festival offers cash prizes for winning comics, plus opportunities to meet with talent scouts and producers. Founder Tony Spires says he created the gathering after facing racial discrimination at comedy clubs in San Francisco in the 80s.
That was what motivated me in the first place to start this thing, is because we were being rejected. And I said, this isn't right. So what we've been doing now is, yes, giving our comedians a voice. We created it for our people, but we welcome everybody.
Returning to the Henry J. Kaiser Center for the first time since its 2005 closure, event organizer Errol Jackson says preserving the location is key for the festival's legacy.
It's really important that that kind of culture and that kind of history that identifies with Oakland stays that way. And so we're really excited to be a part of it and bringing it back to the Henry J.
As for 2020 winner Mario Hodge, he feels the wait will prove to be worth it.
I look forward to be in movies. You see a special from me, a comedy special from me, and you'll see a lot of Mario Hodge.
The 2026 winner will be announced this Sunday in Oakland.
For more stories like this, be sure to watch our special, which airs next Thursday at 7:30 p.m. here on KPIX, or stream on the free CBS News app. Okay, let's turn now to weather with meteorologist Zoe Mintz. Zoe, welcome back.
Yes, I know. I haven't been here in so long, but I love that we're matching to date. We both got the
Me
pink
too.
memo. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. I mean, even if you don't have a loved one today, I say love yourself even more.
You tell them.
Yeah, just treat yourself today, because honestly, Mother Nature is treating us this morning with a beautiful sunrise. This is our view from on top of Black Mountain. It's really, really lovely out there. So I thought we could all take a second together, start off our day on a peaceful note, on a vibrant note, on a golden note, should I say.
I need to get a higher elevation so I can see it myself.
Yeah, most of us are still seeing some cloudy conditions, and those cloudy conditions are going to stick around most of the day, unfortunately. So that's why I had to show you above the clouds, because, yeah, most of us aren't dealing with that. There is a lot of rain and some high elevation snow to our north. That is going to be heading our way throughout the next several hours. But right now, it is calm, it is quiet, just a bit cloudy out there. But again, really not all too much to worry about early this morning. Temperatures are mild in the mid to lower 40s across our inland communities, upper 40s closer to the coast. But again, this is what we expect this time of year. By the afternoon hours will be seasonable, upper 50s to low 60s, very, very typical for February. But by the time that we step out into next week, things are going to be changing. A much bigger cool down and more widespread rainfall. So let's look at tonight. Let me replay that and you can follow along. Timestamp bottom right corner of the screen. Not too much to talk about until I'd say about 7, 8 o'clock along our coastal communities, Santa Cruz Mountains, an isolated raindrop or two. Really not all too much to talk about. So if you do have any dinner plans tonight, I cannot rule out an isolated raindrop, but it really shouldn't be much to worry about until early tomorrow when we are expecting more widespread activity to arrive. This is midnight through 8 a.m. when we are going to be seeing some pockets of heavier downpours, especially closer to our coastal and North Bay communities. This is the line, that stream of moisture from the atmospheric river that will be moving directly over the North Bay tomorrow morning and then moving from north to south across the Bay Area through the late morning and early afternoon hours. So by the early afternoon, North Bay, you're going to be seeing some dry time, while our South Bay is going to be seeing some heavier pockets of rainfall. But everybody is going to be seeing on again, off again, heavier rounds of rain basically throughout the day tomorrow. Then Monday, then Tuesday, we'll be basically seeing the same exact weather pattern, bringing us the widespread activity. It's going to keep those temperatures significantly cooler. Tomorrow afternoon, enjoy the last little bit of 60s that you'll be seeing across those inland East Bay communities, because it is not going to last much longer. Look what happens by Monday afternoon. Those high temperatures cool down significantly, and those highs are going to be in the mid to lower 50s. So it is going to be way cooler starting off early next week. And something that maybe you didn't notice, I have to replay Sunday afternoon's forecast because, yes, some heavier pockets of rain. But then look at what happens. Highest elevations of our North Bay, that is snow on the peak. So above 4,000 feet, places like Mount St. Helena, you're going to be seeing some snow on the highest elevations. And again, that snow on the high elevations likely going to continue into next week. So there potentially could be a little bit of accumulation. Really all kind of just depends on where you're located. It's not going to be snowing in our low elevation communities, but if you plan on heading up to the Sierra this weekend, no treacherous travel. It's not until Monday. Look at how much rain is forecast to fall overnight Sunday and into Monday. There is going to be a widespread 6 to 12 inches. And then even more, 3 to 4 feet of snow by the time that we're stepping out Tuesday. And then by Wednesday, potentially 5 to 6 feet of snow. There is going to be fantastic snow totals on the Sierra. This is what we have needed. And those of you who are lucky enough to maybe plan on heading out skiing or snowboarding next weekend, look at how much fresh powder you're going to be able to enjoy. Next weekend, though, whether or not we'll continue to see active weather, still a little bit of a question mark. There is going to be definitely widespread rainfall through Wednesday. Past that Wednesday mark, though, definitely gets a little bit more questionable. Models are still bouncing back and forth whether or not we're actually going to see rain past Wednesday, but we know we're going to see it all the way through Wednesday. 2 to 5 inches of rain across the Bay Area. That is going to lead to some flooding in those low-lying areas. And look at how cool the temperatures are as well starting next week. So get ready for cooler and wetter weather just around the corner. Back to you, Kelsey.
Thanks, Zoe. Okay, coming up, an inspiring group of volunteers in Southern California is showing their love for animals, one stitch at a time. We'll meet the Kennel Comforters.
My husband was going through chemotherapy, and he received a blanket that had a heart on it. And I thought, why don't we use a heart on our bed?
As animal shelters across the country are facing issues with overcrowding, a group of volunteers in San Diego is hoping to make sure the furry guests are as comfortable as possible while they wait for their forever home.
Yeah, they're known as the Kennel Comforters. So sweet. A very amazing group. They've been stitching together soft cushion beds since 2009, making close to 70 beds a month for shelter animals as they wait for their new families.
Some of our animals stay here for many months, and we have cold concrete floors. But one of the nice things is really nice bedding and pillows and just a really comfortable setting for the animals. And these ladies provide that, and they provide it on a regular basis. And we're so happy that they do that for our animals.
Volunteers also fasten the stuffing of these beds with little hearts as a way to show that they are made with love. How cute is that? Zoe, I know you're a rescue person.
Of course.
Yeah, so am I. But another thing, I am trying to learn how to sew.
Oh.
I know, it's not going well.
Maybe
but,
you can make your own rescue bed.
That looks fun,
It looks like so much fun. And like the fact that that is what they are doing with their free time. We just rescued from the SPCA. Like they need love. They need cozy comfort. It's just hard walls. And the SPCA can only give so much. So I love that. Maybe we can get together, learn how to sew and knit, and start doing that ourselves.
We should make one here.
We can get our own club together.
That's a good idea.
You might have to stay tuned.
Oh my gosh, yeah, let's do it. Okay, coming up in our Saturday showcase at 7, plans move ahead for construction of an affordable housing complex in Cupertino. We hear from a local advocate who has a deeply personal vantage point. And parents express anguish about the coming closure of several elementary schools in San Jose. They speak their minds while the district says consolidation is necessary.
From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Morning Edition.
Good morning and thanks for joining us. I'm Kelsey Thorud. Welcome to a half-hour edition of our Saturday Showcase. We begin with efforts to create more affordable housing units in the Bay Area. In a moment, John Ramos will introduce us to the people who are anticipating the opening of a new complex in West Oakland, but who are perplexed about a delay. But first, Suji Nam and the housing advocate expressing hope about a project for a specific population that is moving forward in Cupertino.
Really is about those that we serve.
Outside the Cupertino City Hall.
Yes, on Mary Ave.
Hadia Fain is leading the rally for families with IDD, intellectual and developmental disabilities.
We are going to bring inclusive housing to all of Silicon Valley and beyond.
Fain is with Life Services Alternatives, a nonprofit organization that provides housing and programs for adults with IDD. She had been fighting for housing development along Mary Avenue by Highway 85. And she's grateful the city is moving forward with the project. 40 affordable housing units, with 19 of them dedicated for families with IDD.
Cupertino has more space for AI than it does for any person with intellectual and developmental disabilities.
For Fain, the fight is personal.
My baby boy, Elijah Joshua Fain, was born with IDD. During that time period that I was in the hospital with him, he didn't make it and he passed. But I saw the way that I was treated. I saw the way they treated my son. I saw how difficult of a road it was going to be for me just to be his parent.
Cupertino Council member J.R. Fruin heard from residents for and against the project.
I am disappointed that the vote was 3-2 and not unanimous. It really should have been.
The project site sits on public land. He says there were questionable legal arguments and neighbor concerns about reducing the number of parking spots.
Fundamentally, the question here is whether we want to have, nearly 90 spaces for cars to park, housing for cars, or 40 homes for extremely deserving families.
Thank you so much for that.
Fain says, while this is a win for the IDD community, the battle isn't over.
I'm fighting for every moment that I would have had with my son to give one mother, one father, one brother, one sister, just a moment of relief, knowing that their son, daughter, brother, sister, their loved one has a place in this world and belongs.
Fighting for more housing and opportunity.
Yes, Mary!
For the IDD community in the Bay Area.
Oakland city leaders have recently been talking up the benefits of a new apartment complex meant to get people off the streets. But as John Ramos shows us, the complex remains closed at the moment, leaving those who were supposed to move in stuck in limbo.
They held a ribbon cutting for this new low-income housing project last year, but residents who are supposed to be living in there by now say they don't understand why it's still not open and why they're still out in the cold. The Phoenix apartments in West Oakland were welcomed with great fanfare. The 101-unit apartment complex was built for homeless and low-income individuals and received public funding for its construction. At the ribbon cutting in November, Mayor Barbara Lee said housing wasn't just a luxury, but a basic human right.
For far too many years, this community has faced displacement and disinvestment. But today, yes, once again, we're on the move. We're rising as the Phoenix does.
But this Phoenix is yet to rise, sitting empty behind a chain link fence, leaving those who were supposed to move in October living in the ashes.
We're supposed to be housed. This is supposed to be for, unhoused individuals and families, and it hasn't happened since the date that it said it was supposed to happen. Now we're here today, months later, dealing with being even in a worse situation than before.
Frank Cruz and his partner Michelle Abbott are now living in their car. They have a 12-year-old child, and Frank says he was so desperate to find a place for them that he quit his job in order to qualify to live at the Phoenix. They were living in a shelter when they were accepted and were supposed to move in October.
They accepted funding for us and then ended up exiting us from our shelter early because nobody can wait for what's going on here. They have to get new people into their place, and we were exited early. And now we are every day trying to make sure that we have a roof over our head, food to eat. And there's no way to get out of homelessness when you're like that.
Housing advocates say they also have not been told what is causing the delay.
We don't know why it's not open. But what we do know is that it is inhumane to have families living out here in the elements.
The developer is a nonprofit called the East Bay Asian Local Development Corporation. The Phoenix is featured on their website saying, quote, "The Phoenix is a direct solution to homelessness by providing permanent supportive housing for the community and aims to be a positive impact to neighbors by reducing encampment and loitering that currently exists," end quote. But AC Dunbar works in the neighborhood, offering medical services to the homeless. She too has been wondering when the Phoenix would begin being a solution to homelessness.
Yeah, we were expecting for our patients to move in around October. That's what we were told. And it's still not open, or we haven't gotten no word. It's just been a holdup.
The developer didn't respond for comment today, but we spoke with one contractor who wouldn't go on camera, but said there is a major dispute over contractors not being paid. And he said he planned to file a $2 million lien on the property if he wasn't paid by the end of the day. He said the building is nearly finished, but he had no guess about when it would finally open.
But hopefully somebody can figure out so we can get folks moved in. It's supposed to be permanent supportive housing. It's a beautiful infrastructure. We would love to get inside and see what it looks like.
This past Tuesday, another partner in the project, Abode Services, sent a written statement saying they, quote, have been working together with all stakeholders to fill in the gaps while final construction is completed at the Phoenix. But they offered no reason for the delay or any timeline for its opening. Okay, let's switch now to weather with meteorologist Zoe Mitt. Zoe, we were looking at the sunrise earlier, and it was beautiful.
Gorgeous.
I know it's supposed to be cloudy, but at least it's supposed to be relatively nice.
Let's go check it out right now. Above the clouds, it's pretty nice out there. And it's not a pink or a red sunrise to match Valentine's Day, but I think we'll take a golden. Oh my goodness, this is so cool. Okay, I'm geeking out right now. This is a live camera, and this is right here, also known, you see that little, it looks like a wave? That's called a Kelvin-Helmholtz cloud. It is also known as a wave cloud. That is so cool that we're seeing that right now on our live camera. It's not going to last much longer than I would say the next 2-3 minutes. So the fact that it is happening right now on live television lets you know it's going to be a great day, or at least I think it is. That is so, so cool. Again, only seeing this above our camera view, above all of the fog and all of the clouds. This is our view on top of Black Mountain. I wish we could just sit here and watch that all day because, again, this is not going to last much longer than the next minute or so. It's going to go away in a minute or two. So the fact that we caught that, it is so fun out there. Sorry, I just freaked out a little bit, but I hope you all enjoyed me weather geeking out a little bit. It's going to be a cloudy day for most of us all across the Bay Area. Dry day for most of the day until late tonight. An isolated sprinkle or two will arrive. Rainy conditions will stick around through the midweek before windy conditions pick up. It'll be breezy Sunday and then windy Monday and Tuesday. In fact, let's just take a look at those wind gusts. They'll be getting anywhere from 20 to 30 miles an hour tomorrow, but 25 to 35, maybe an isolated gust up to 40 by Monday afternoon and evening. Things we'll keep a very, very close eye on as we step out. The winds will will be the biggest issue early this week, along with the very rainy conditions. How much rain can we see? Sunday afternoon, it will be anywhere from half of an inch to an inch across a lot of the Bay Area. Lower totals the farther south and inland you go. But look at what happens by Sunday night and into Monday. There is going to be widespread rainfall totals anywhere from 2 to 4 inches through Tuesday evening. And then highest elevations in the Santa Cruz Mountains could potentially see 4 to 5 inches of rain. Definitely going to lead to some flooding threats. I'll break down all the details on the exact timing of this rain and how much snow we could see potentially in the Sierra coming up in my full forecast. Back to you.
Thanks, Zoe. I'm excited about how excited you are about that cloud. Okay, well, coming up, schools facing the budgetary axe in San Jose. How parents are pushing back against a plan to close more than half a dozen campuses in a district where enrollment keeps falling. Now to the pressures on some Bay Area school districts as they grapple with declining enrollment. In a moment, Kara St. Cyr will introduce us to a woman in Pacifica whose daughter has changed schools 3 times within just a year. But first to Kevin Coe and the parents worried about the consequences of several pending closures in San Jose.
A lot of our parents still don't know, and we're a week in.
Oralia Rodriguez is trying to get the word out. As the vice president of Gardner Elementary's PTO, she's organizing a group of families to speak out at Thursday night's school board meeting.
Some parents know it's because it's the parents that come to folklorico class and all the moms are talking. Most of the time, parents do pick up their kids like they're set up to be picked up in the drive-thru.
That's why Gardner Elementary parent Chantel is on the street.
So we're just passing out flyers, trying to inform parents.
Gardner Elementary parents are doing everything they can to sound the alarm that their school is on the chopping block. It's part of the San Jose Unified School District's Schools of Tomorrow initiative. Facing a 20% drop in enrollment since the pandemic, the district says consolidation is necessary to provide proper resources for future students. Nothing is permanent until the March 12th decision, but right now, there are 2 main options on the table. There are 5 schools that would close, no matter which option the board approves. Gardner is one of those 5 schools.
My mother came here to Gardner, my nephew came here to Gardner, and now my 2 twin boys come here to Gardner.
L-E-O-N. You say E.
Zeke goes to Gardner with his younger brother, Leon. Their grandmother, Ana Guevara, picks him up from school every day.
My little one, he found out in class, and I understand he started crying because he wasn't going to be with his friends or his school or his teachers.
Tears are being shed by students from Gardner to Rachel Carson Elementary, one of the 5 campuses currently without the option of remaining open.
Students are in tears because they feel like they have no choice, options are closed, and that's all is on their mind.
For Anna and her 2 grandkids, they're one of many families who say they're just hoping to make this walk back home again next year.
He's been here since kindergarten till now. So for us, it's important for them to stay in the same school, they're surrounding their community.
In Pacifica, budget issues are also prompting a school district there to consider closing several of its schools. Kara St. Cyr introduces us to a parent who is all too familiar with the potential effects.
Let's come back and finish working on our doll really fast.
Alana Dorn's daughter, Livy, moved 3 schools in less than a year.
Without being too dramatic, I was devastated that they decided to close Ocean Shore.
The Pacifica School Board of Trustees voted to close Livy School, Ocean Shore, and Valley Mar Middle School last year, an effort to close a $3.3 million budget deficit.
It looks long.
Livy was moved to Sunset Ridge before Dorn moved her to Valley Mar Elementary. But now, she's worried the nightmare isn't over yet.
When I told my friends or people in town that we were leaving Ocean Shore and moving to Valley Mar, a lot of people said, well, you know, that's next.
An interim report from the Pacifica School District shows that student enrollment is dropping faster than anticipated, putting the future budget at risk again.
We did see a loss over a period of 5 years of about 500 students. So So that was about a school size of students.
Martha Ladd, the interim deputy superintendent, says the district expects to lose an average of 50 to 60 students per year. But in 2025, they recorded an 120 student loss. If the trend continues, it could impact a budget the district is still stabilizing.
We are funded through the local control funding formula, so we are paid through average daily attendance. So instead of having $13,000 times 2,600 students, it's $13,000 times 2,400 students, and that can be millions of dollars.
That sounds pretty.
While Ladd says the district has no plans to close another school, news of declining enrollment is a concern for Dorn.
That fear is definitely relevant, and it's a conversation I've had with my husband, who works in a neighboring district, and we've talked about moving her there.
The Dorns, among dozens of families looking for stability.
Coming up, we meet a conservationist trying to protect mountain lions across California, how those efforts are getting an assist from the state agency, and why cattlemen's groups are not happy about it.
And were you here about like 10 minutes ago when I freaked out about these clouds? They've already leveled out just a bit. They're still pretty beautiful out there though early this morning. If you are awake, you're not likely seeing this view though. You're likely under the clouds with a foggy day and a cloudy day ahead of us. I'll let you know exactly when the rain will arrive though, and when you'll be needing to keep the umbrella handy coming up in just a bit.
Okay, we're going to kick off this block with another look at weather with meteorologist Zoe Mitz. Zoe, I know we were talking during the break about how excited you got about the clouds.
Yes.
So I do have to ask, do you have a favorite cloud type?
I mean, I think Kelvin Helmholtz, top two.
So
top
that's
three
that
at
one.
least. Yeah, that's,
you got to
that's,
talk layman's terms, because I don't know what that is.
The wave clouds.
Okay,
the wave
yes.
clouds
yeah,
that we just saw. My favorite probably are lenticular clouds, the ones that look like spaceships when they form above mountains.
What?
Yeah, like the ones that are kind of like
circle.
Yeah, they kind of look
around the mountain.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I know what you're talking
yes.
about. Okay.
Those are spaceship clouds, lenticular clouds. I'm a nerd when it comes to clouds. So
yeah, it's fun.
If you ever see a cloud and you're like, hey, what kind of cloud's that? Send it my way. I'll let you know.
I will.
I have a bumper sticker on my car that says I brake for cloud formations, not I brake for other things. That's me. Fun fact for you all. Speaking of the cool cloud formations, this is what we were seeing earlier today. Those were the Kelvin Helmholtz clouds that we saw for literally just 2 seconds. They have already disappeared, and we have seen a beautiful sunrise above the fog. Most of us, though, not dealing with that. Most of us are dealing with this. It's a gray start to our day here in San Francisco. The Bay Bridge still looking nice, though. It's not like a low fog layer by any means. It's just stopping us from seeing the beautiful sunrise. All of the rain, though, is well off to our north. As you can see, the tippy top of Northern California seeing some rain and high elevation snow. All of that will be heading our way over the next 24 to 72 hours and bringing widespread impacts. These areas in blue, these are winter storm watches that are in effect. These areas in tan, these are wind advisories in effect. Those areas in darker gray, those are the dense fog advisories that we're used to seeing. But taking a closer look at the Bay Area, again, we are going to be seeing the bulk of the activity a bit to our north. So North Bay Mountains actually have a winter storm watch in effect because of the highest elevations above 4,000 feet. Could be seeing a few inches of snow. There's also wind advisories in effect for the Central Valley communities. It doesn't include any in the Bay Area, though. It really just depends on where you're traveling over the next couple of days. Right now, though, it's a quiet start to our morning. By the afternoon hours, that's when the rain will be approaching. It'll be arriving, I would say 7, 8 o'clock across our coastal communities, but it's just an isolated raindrop or two. It's definitely not cause to cancel any plans, but I cannot guarantee it's going to be a completely dry night out there. So grab an umbrella if you do have any late night plans tonight, but again, really shouldn't be anything too impactful. It's not until the overnight hours, until early tomorrow morning, that the widespread rain will be moving all over the Bay Area and especially across our North Bay communities. This is that hose of atmospheric river moisture that's going to be making its way over the Bay Area, and it's just the first round of many. So this is early tomorrow morning. North Bay community seeing the heavy rain. That will be pushing over our South Bay communities by Sunday afternoon. North Bay will be seeing a little bit of a break, and enjoy the breaks while you can, because there's going to be rounds of some heavier downpours that you can see in darker and deeper orange and red. Those signify the potential for a 1/2 inch to 1 inch of rainfall per hour. And again, this is going to continue in basically the same pattern through Monday and Tuesday. We could be seeing total rainfall accumulations upwards of 2 to 5 inches, kind of just depending on where you're located. But the fact that 2 to 3 inches across a majority of the Bay Area is likely through Tuesday is very impressive. The highest totals over the Santa Cruz Mountains, where that 4 to 5 inch mark could potentially be reached. This weekend, snowfall, not a big issue, but by the time that we step out overnight Sunday and into Monday, a foot of snow is possible, then 2 to 3 feet by Tuesday, then 3 to 4 feet by Wednesday and into Thursday. So there is going to be so much snow, so much rain on the way. We need this active weather pattern that, again, is going to be returning in full force starting Sunday and continuing through at least Wednesday of next week. Back to you, Kelsey.
Thanks, Zoe. Okay, coming up, state wildlife regulators establish new protections for mountain lions in a move that is drawing mixed reactions. Finally this morning, wildlife regulators have now granted new protections for mountain lions roaming around the state. Scott Rates has details on the new designation.
The Fish and Game Commission voting on Thursday to list a distinct segment of mountain lions under the Threatened Species Act. The area includes the Santa Cruz Mountains all the way down the coast to Southern California.
This was a really exciting vote. It was a really exciting day.
Tiffany Yap is with the Center for Biological Diversity. She says the new classification was very much needed. Mountain lions in these areas face many dangers that increasingly push them into urban areas, like we saw just a couple weeks ago when a mountain lion was seen wandering in the Pacific Heights area in San Francisco.
They're getting hit by cars on roads. They're dying and getting sick from rodenticide poisoning. They're, getting disease. They're dying in wildfires, and all because we are lacking the connectivity that they need to be able to roam freely.
Our concern was that additional protections for mountain lions might negatively impact farmers and ranchers who come into conflict and whose livestock come into conflict.
Kirk Wilbur is with the California Cattlemen's Association. He says that the cattlemen he works with have seen a troubling trend.
The incidence of conflict with humans and conflict with livestock has actually been, trending upwards.
Though it is rare for mountain lions to attack people, there have been a handful of attacks in the last century. Most recently, in March of 2024, 2 young men were attacked by a mountain lion in El Dorado County. That attack killing one of the men. Kirk says that cattlemen should be able to protect their family and livestock.
Our main concern today was making sure that the take permits that the department is required to issue under Proposition 117 do not get diminished.
And I think that is something that can come with these protections, is really investing in safe coexistence strategies.
With the new classification today, Tiffany says the hope is now that they can start finding solutions that work for everyone.
And that might look like getting more wildlife crossings on our roads, getting more habitat protected and restored, particularly in areas that we know are important for their movement. Getting stronger restrictions on the most dangerous rat poison.
So that humans and mountain lions like this can better coexist.
Well, thanks for watching KPIX News this morning. Don't forget the news continues all day streaming on CBS News Bay Area. We'll be back here tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock. Enjoy your Saturday. Happy Valentine's Day.